Welcome to the October Rose Fibre Art Podcast, episode number 2. I've got a few things that I will be updating you on today. I've got a couple of finished objects. I'm not going to start to show too many works in progress at the moment because I want to keep this a little bit short. I've got some really sad news. I've got a big life update. I'm going to start with my big life update. So we have been moving house for the last few months. So if you've watched my first episode, I filmed that back in January. Since then, we have been really busy moving house. We've built out a new home and moving into that. Moving 3 kids has been exhausting, exciting, and there's still a lot to be done. But I'm carving out some time to make some more podcasts. I have been carving out some time to be knitting and creating of a night time, which has been really exciting. I've really enjoyed that, and that's been my sanctuary of a night time, to be able to sit down, have my hot cup of tea. It's my nightly routine, nice hot cup of tea, and sit down and watch something on telly and do some knitting. So I've got a few things to show you. First of all, I'll start with as well, along here is my new, the new Chula Pink range that came in the other week. I'm in the process of updating that on the website. So if you are a fan of Chula Pink, if I move that, you might be able to. So if you are a fan of Chula Pink, that will be updated on the website soon. So if you go to www.octoberrosefiberart.com.au, you can purchase that there once that's updated. Hopefully we'll finish that today. I have some really devastating news. I might start with that as well. If you follow along on Instagram, again, follow me on Instagram, October Rose Fibre Art, you will know that for Christmas, I made my kids some lovely little jumpers, and you can already see here. This is one that I made for my son. He's 6 years old. I want to say I told him he wasn't very knit worthy after he did this. This is number 1, so you can see that little hole there. He wore this to a rugby match the other day, and I think he thought that he was also playing rugby and came home with this. On both sides. I think he was wrestling with one of his friends and they've ripped it and then just kept ripping it. And I'm very sad. I told him he wasn't very knit worthy, which he was very, very sad about. If you check on my Instagram as well and watch the last podcast, I was knitting some socks for him. They are completed. They are filthy and in the wash because he wears them everywhere. He is knit worthy, but this is disappointing. He loves when I make him handmade goods, and my heart was so full when he was like, "Mum, I'm wearing this jumper." However, when he came home with this, I was very, very disappointed. I think my plan, I know I could repair it. I think I might actually just pull it all undone and reknit something, maybe with a bit of a tighter gauge so that they can't get their fingers in it when they're wrestling, and get that to him, put some stripes or something in it as well for him. It didn't take me too long to knit for Christmas. I think it took me about 2 weeks altogether. So that's probably going to be the plan there, just to reknit that for him and make it a little bit tighter, so that he can wear that again. He does love it. And it was very sweet when he wanted to wear this to the football over other jumpers that he has in his wardrobe. I thought that was very sweet of him. So that was the icing on the cake. But the rip sleeve, not so happy about. So that's my devastating news. So not too devastating, just some more work for me. I'll try and get that done in the next few weeks so that he's got something nice and cozy to wear over the winter. We're in the Southern Hemisphere, if you're not sure. I'm from the Hunter Valley in New South Wales. So we're in Australia, we're in the Southern Hemisphere. We're going into winter. It's starting to cool down now, which has been really nice. We've had some cooler days, cooler nights. It's really nice because the kids can snuggle into bed and sleep in a little bit. But yeah, he'll need something warm. He's got a wardrobe full of clothes, but you know, it's always nice to have something that Mum's made. Okay, I'm going to talk about some finished objects because I feel like that's more exciting. Ta-da, I've got 1. I've got 2. I have a pair. I just have ends. Lots of ends to weave in. I love them. They're really good. I think I showed these in my last podcast as a work in progress. I'm just going to put that one down. This pink yarn here was from a friend's de-stash, so thanks Beck for that. I only had a small ball of it. I wouldn't have had enough to knit a whole sock. So what I did is I weighed it and I started the shorty. I decided I was going to make some shorty socks just to wear with some boots, keep my feet nice and toasty. So I've just done, I think I did 12 rounds for the ribbing, 2x2 rib, an Ive Partridge heel. Then I did a gusset, and I have a very long foot. I have a size 11, a women's size 11 foot, so I have to make them quite long. So I just knitted, I kept weighing my yarn as I went. Once I got to halfway, I switched over. Again, these are scraps from another pair of socks that I did, just this self-striping yarn. So I switched over to this. That way I knew I was going to have enough for both socks. And so I did the same on both socks. Once I'd knitted one for the second sock, I knew how many rows that I had knit in that colorway, and I had a teeny tiny ball left over at the end, so I probably could have done a few more rounds of this pink color. However, I wanted to make sure I had enough, so I made sure I kept weighing it regularly, and that kept it nice and even. So that is my finished object. I will eventually sit down, probably tonight, and get these ends in. I finished these probably about 3 weeks ago. But as I said, life's been really busy. We've had everything in boxes because we've been moving, and I just haven't been able to update anything with the actual date from when I finish. They do fit. They fit like a dream. I'm really excited. They're for me. I would love a box of handmade socks. That's my goal. So I've got another pair on another set on the needles at the moment. I'm not going to show them today because I just want to try and keep this a little bit short and sweet. And just pop in and say hello to everyone. And I'm still around. I've just been busy with life. I love knitting socks. I was always really nervous about it. I'll tell you my story. I signed up to do a pattern test, and it was just so much fun. And that was my first set of socks that I ever knit, and then I caught the bug. So it's really, I love that they're portable. They're really portable. Can take them to all of my kids' appointments and sit in the waiting room and knit socks. It's really amazing how many people like to come over and ask you about them when you're knitting as well. So it sort of helps to strike up conversations with people, and it's just lots of fun. So I'm going to have a drawer of handmade socks. Probably not this year, but hopefully soon. Okay, I'm back. I just had an interference from my husband there, a bit of a call, a few things I had to duck out and do. So apologies. He did ring me at the right time though, which I'm happy about. I was in between talking about the socks, and that makes it a bit easier. Okay, so my next finished object, and I did say earlier I was going to talk about some whips. I'm definitely going to talk about some whips because I just realized I had some here. This is my River Never Sleeps cowl. I pattern tested this for Marta Mitchell Designs. I am a huge fan of her crochet designs. They are lovely. I did the Mobius twist. I did a lot of this on the bus. I took for my day job, I'm a school teacher, and I took some kids down to Sydney, which is about a 2.5 hour drive from us, to go and see the Machu Picchu exhibition at the Australian Museum. It was really lovely. I really enjoyed it. I'd love to go back without a class full of kids, but we had a great time. 2.5 hours on the bus though. I managed to get in a few rows, which was really good. The yarn I used, so this was from my stash. This, I can't remember the name of it. My kids, for some reason, get into my yarn bags, whatever project bags I have my projects in, and love playing with the yarn balls. They just love it. So I think this one is from Rainbows and Sprinkles. So some hand-dyed yarn. This one here, the teal, I think is it Lang Jarwal. I think I got it from Yummy Yarn Co, which is out at Dubbo. And yeah, paired them together. I love it. It's really cozy. I think my kids would all love one too. It's going to be really warm, really nice with this cold weather that's been creeping in the last few weeks. And I would recommend it. Nice quick project. I think all up it took me just over 2 weeks, and that wasn't working on it a lot. I was also doing a few other things in between. Really fun. You knit it just as a tube and then stitch it together. I would recommend this pattern. I recommend Ormada's pattern. She does a lovely job. Really, really interesting. Really lovely project there. I actually want to I want to crochet a couple of these and have them in. Usually have a little basket of things that I've made that I give to people for gifts through the year. If a birthday pops up and I've got something made, I'll dive into there. I quite often do that for my work colleagues. So this would be one I'd love to make a few more of, pop away in the basket so I've got them ready for people. People usually love a handmade gift. So that's my other finished object that I have today to talk about. I'll talk about some whips. I feel like I'm doing this a little bit out of order, but I'll talk about some whips. One of my friends who is a really bad influence, thanks Shell, sends me a lot of things on Instagram, and we always fall in love with it. One of them was the Show Me Your Colours shawl by Lisa K. Ross. And I wanted to buy the kit, but moving house, I've realised I have a very large stash and I want to just use some of it up. I love all the things that I've bought. I just need the time to use it up. So I did a bit of a stash dive and I've started. I decided to go with the original shawl, has a number of different colours. I decided to just use 2. This one here was from Marta Mitchell's Lazy Days Crochet Along. So this is the 4-ply that was released with the shawl that she did. And this purple is actually one that I've hand dyed. And I thought, what a really nice way to use up some of my own hand dyed yarn. And put that into there. So I've done around about the first 100 rows. It has been put away a little bit only because I have been moving house and working on a few other things. And that's kept me really, really busy. But it's a really fun knit. These little, I don't know what you call them, but this one here, this has been really fun and interesting to knit. It's enough to sort of keep you interested in what you're doing. I love things with sections so that I can sit down and say, well, right, my goal for tonight is just this one section. And then once you get that done, you can sort of have a little happy dance because you've completed a step. I love being able to do that in projects, and I feel like this is one that I've been able to do that in quite a lot. As I said, it's been away for a little bit because I've been working on other things, but I really like it. It's really fun to knit. I'm keeping it in. I know people usually like to know this. As I said, I'm a bit of a fan of Marta Mitchell. She does the Lazy Day Crochet Along, and I've just popped it into the bag that came along with that in the kit just to keep that nice and safe. We bought a new lounge with when we bought, in between moving, and it's got a little like cubby hole in it. I've been keeping it in there, and my kids find it quite interesting to pop in and look to see what knitting's in the little cubby hole to see what I've been knitting on. So it's been really, really fun and really interesting for them. Okay, this is my own bag. I made it. I'm tossing up whether I need to do a few more. It's just nice and fun. I use this for my socks. This is my sock bag. I did a pattern. I've got the original one here. So this one here I actually pattern tested. I do a fair bit of pattern testing. I'm trying to slow down a little bit because I've got my own things I need to get done. So this was the original pattern from Berry Birdie. I've done a few of her patterns. I've tested a few of her patterns. And I keep sort of my sewing supplies in this one. And I loved it. And I thought, wouldn't it be nice to have a slightly bigger one so that I could fit bigger projects in. So I pattern hacked it. I just made it a little bit longer so that it was more of an oval rather than a circle, and it just gives me a little bit more room to put my socks in. This one here, so like I buy my own birthday present. My kids think it's really funny, and every year they'll be like, Mum, what are you buying yourself this year? And a few years ago, I bought myself from Stitchcraft and Wizardry in Western Australia. I don't think she's dying anymore, but she's still doing some patterns. She was doing a blind date with a book, and so one birthday I thought that's going to be my present. So I bought this one. I've started reading the book as well. I thought, wouldn't it be fun in all the mayhem of moving to read the book as well? Although in saying that, I've had a few other books come out that I've jumped in and started reading as well. I'm doing 2 at a time. It's been really fun. I thought if I do 2 at a time, then that way I will definitely finish 2. And I'm using, this is the first time I've seen other people using these, but this is the first time I've been using like the sock cables with the 3-inch needle on that side and the 2-inch on that side. I don't mind them. I find it really easy. The only thing was with the heel flap, it got me in a bit of a spin, having to go backwards and forwards. But once I got used to it, they were really fun. I will keep using them. So that's another pair of socks for me. And I'm looking forward to getting them finished. So that's been really, really good. Lots of socks, lots of little easy knits. I've got a few other things that I finished up that I just need to put some finishing touches on before I show anyone. Other news, in a week and a half's time, it's the weekend, I think it's the 25th of May, I'll be in Dungog for the Knitters Picnic at Hive and Gobbler. I'm very excited. This will be my first sort of market stall as a business. I'll have my hand-dyed yarn there. I'll see what else I've got. I'm thinking I might take a few things for a little bit of a de-stash as well. But I'm looking forward to that, and I hope to see you there if you can make it. Come along, say hi, and enjoy the day. Do some picnicking, do some knitting. I'll be there talking, because that's what I love to do. I'm very good at it sometimes. Anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed this episode number 2, and hopefully I'll be back very soon with a new update on what I've been knitting, on crocheting and sewing and all other things. Enjoy your day. Bye.